Please read the disclaimer. Did this crypto expert just reveal the truth about the current status of XRP and the crypto market? Hello, beautiful people. Shalom, money makers. We got a lot to talk about. XRP Australia is going on right now. There's some nuggets from Ripple CEO from there. There is some announcements regarding XRP that is about to be unlocked, and diamonds are forever. You'll understand soon. All I ask from you is that you give me a beautiful smile to send out those good vibes. Smishity smash that like button. The run continues on the morning videos. We are getting 1,000 likes on each video, and XRP continues to move to the upside. So there must be some sort of, right? It has to be, right? Currently, XRP is sitting at $1.40, up 0.37% on the day. Nothing too nor here nor there. I think there's a few factors falling onto this. One, we do have PPI coming out this morning. Yesterday, we had initial jobless claims, which was pretty much on par to what was expected. So it didn't shake the markets here or there. Core PPI, and we, of course, have the continuation of the talks between Iran and the US. We'll see. It's there might be going into next week. We'll see if these talks mean that the US is going to wait, or is there going to be a little bit more action over the weekend. We'll see what happens there. It seems right now that the fumes are calming a little bit, right? That maybe nothing's going to happen, but we've known from the past that it could be a false flag. So we have to take that into consideration as well. And the market so far, right, is kind of after a big day here on Wednesday. Thursday and Friday so far have been sleepy, but Freaky Friday, a lot of things can happen, a lot of things can change. We'll see what the PPI is and if that affects the markets in any way. And any little bit of news or any little bit of things that come out of the meetings or something regarding the Iran-US situation could move the markets to either way. So again, we need to take that into consideration. And that it came with a lot of power, right? Wait, I got boom boom. So we'll potentially see where the markets are gonna go here. We do have Bitcoin sitting at 67,000. So again, not much movement after that very big day. And there are already people, dancing in the streets after Wednesday with the whole entropic thing. And I was like, whoa, hold your horses. And you'll see we have a tweet here from Matt Hogan. He's high-ranking executive at one of the biggest exchanges out there with a very important take on this whole situation. So again, you're going to want to watch all the way to the end of the video to hear his opinion. But my opinion was that it wasn't really because of Jane Street. It was more a surprise on those Circle earnings. And the liquidity suddenly started coming back into the market because of that, or because of the positivity. And then, all the other factors kind of weighed it down. So I might be the only one that's talking about this. I don't know. I try not to watch other channels just so I don't parrot what they're saying. I know many people, have told me that other people seems YouTubers watch my stuff and parrot what I'm doing, but it's okay. It's a sign of respect, right? That they like what I'm saying. They think I'm smart. Right? Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong, right? I'm very modest too. I just pat myself on the shoulder. I moved away the monkey, right? The monkey sitting on the shoulder that reminds us that anything can happen and the markets can go anywhere at any given time, and we need to be careful. Okay, Ethereum still over 2,000, so for that part, it's so far it's holding, and Solana up 1.3% here. So over 87 once again. There are some that are moving a little bit, but nothing too crazy is going on here this morning. outside of power, right? That you saw there was up 75%. So we'll see how this plays out today, how this Freaky Friday is going to play out for XRP. Again, we're still seeing, if we're looking at the indicators and what's happening here, we still have that strong red here, and the short term 10 days is telling us a blue, but 10 days also on the whole moving average is a blue, but the rest of them are red, and Ichimoku is always neutral. And on the oscillators, it's mostly neutral, 2 blue and 1 red. So we'll see. Again, these things can change very, very fast, and they can flip. We need to take that into consideration. 2 billion XRP to be unlocked for DeFi. Flare integrates with Zaman, I don't know how to pronounce this, Yaman wallet to bring 2 billion XRP into DeFi. Cross-chain complexity is reduced to a single transaction on the XRP ledger, potentially unlocking massive liquidity for lending and yield. So any type of liquidity injection here or potential usage of XRP is good for XRP and for the XRP network, XRPL. And so nice update here on that. Is it affecting the price action right now? No, but maybe in the future it could have some effect. This has been interesting. BitTrue as an exchange, no affiliate with them, but they have over the past few days been really tweeting a lot about XRP. And you can see as longtime XRP supporters, they sat down with CoinDesk to share their observations on a sharp surge in XRP spot activity between February 23rd and 24th, with retail purchase volume rising 212% and outpacing sell orders by more than 2 to 1. And so that was interesting. Again, that was the 23rd and the 24th, when we were seeing the price of XRP actually drop here to the low point outside of February 5th and 6th, right? Where we had the low points, but this was the lowest point of the last, let's say, since then. And then we saw XRP, of course, rise to almost 150. So that's very interesting that there was an uptick in volume when the price was coming down. And could that have been one of the factors that helped XRP's price then recover with the rest of the crypto market? We'll see. Now, right now, I know that a lot of you that watch the morning video are from Australia, where it's not morning for you, right? Shout out to all my friends there down in Australia. That how many of you are at the conference right now, maybe. And this is what Brad had to say from the conference. Let's take a look. I just saw the comment from Timothy here. You might be enjoying the Australian brew, right? Down under. Let's take a listen.
There's not one switch. There's 100 switches. There's 1,000 switches. And it's all of these little switches, and bit by bit by bit, until it really does, I think, have an exponential impact. And I think you're starting to see that. It's taken a little longer in some cases, but on the other hand, we've made so much progress. And you're seeing more and more of these little switches flip. And it's the reason why I have so much optimism about 2026 and certainly beyond. And look, part of that truly is you all are one of those flip switches. Like seeing the passion in Australia, seeing the passion, we're on a kind of world tour right now. And like, it's awesome. And each of these individual things and the advocacy and clarifying and debunking the FUD and misinformation, like it's all part of the number of switches that are being flipped. And I think at some point you're gonna feel like, oh my gosh, the switch didn't get flipped. It wasn't one. It was the culmination of a decade of those events.
So it does sound a little bit like he I don't know if it's the sound of the hall there. Let me know, guys, if you were here in the audience. Very, very cool. I wish I was, able to go to a Ripple conference. I don't know if they're going to come to me anytime soon, but maybe. And potentially we'll see what happens here. He's so optimistic, Brad, about 2026, about the potential, and also talking about flipping the switches. Sometimes this happens in the market where, many times people will be in the comment section, and I get it, right? It's frustrating, the whole situation. It's frustrating that we did not get the crescendo that we were hoping for, the banana zone that we were hoping for when we were hoping for it. And people will say, well, Avi, you talk about all the time, oh, there was this good news and that good news, but the price action doesn't move, right? So, Brad is talking about all these little switches that are getting flipped on. It's all this good news, another thing. Many times, though, what happens is there's a bigger thing, right, that just pulls down the whole market. Right? And it doesn't have to do specifically with XRP. It has to do with the whole crypto market as an entire entity, right? And so when that's happening, it's very hard for one asset to detach itself price-wise, just because even if there's 100 people that are wanting to purchase now XRP, but the algos that Jane Street and their companies like that, they're programmed right now to just sell everything or do shenanigans that suppress prices all across the board. It's they might be programmed to trade the top 50 or the top 100 cryptos, and they just trade. So it doesn't matter if 100 people are bullish on XRP when you have these kinds of algos that are running like this right now. And it might change, it might flip, we might turn into a bullish sentiment, and then the algos will flip, they'll change. And so, the fact is also that XRP is a very big entity. It's 86 billion market cap right now. So again, when you have some news that comes out, does that news mean 10% addition, right? An $8 billion value addition to XRP? And that's a question that we have to ask ourselves, right? So, if there's good news, I don't know. XRP is listed on an exchange, right? It's not something that's happening. I'm throwing out a hypothetical, okay? Does that add 10% to XRP's valuation? If the market thinks so, then a high probability that it will go up 10%. And if not, then it just kind of gets swept under the rug and adds to the light switches, another light switch, another light switch, another light switch. And then you get to a situation where the market is doing good, right? And then there's a lot of good things that happen for that specific asset. And then we see those big runs that happen in specific assets. So again, I'd much rather have a slow and steady movement than a parabolic short-term movement that sells off. Those of you that have been watching my channel for a while know my famous graph, and even I have this one from Circle just up because it was here, that when something goes parabolic, high probability that it does this after, right? I don't know what you could call this shape, but high probability that happens, okay? And that happened to Circle. It just, it took time, but it happened. I'd much rather, have a situation where you have something similar to, something similar to this, where it goes up and maybe it takes time, but over a long period of time, right, it goes up and then it can have a nice healthy movement. Okay. I know that many people want this, but that's not healthy. It's healthy. It's good. If you're short-term trading, if you're day trading, then yes, there's a lot of potential to make money there, but it's not healthy. It's not good long-term for those assets. Okay, so that's very, very important to remember. As always, I just want to remind you that this video is for educational purposes, for entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. I do not know exactly what the market is going to do day to day, and it's very important to get the latest and the greatest news. So subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any new thing that is happening in the crypto and XRP world. And also, this general news, right? We talk about general stuff that also affect the markets, like the last night the Pakistan-Afghanistan situation and the Iran-USA situation and all that. So it's very, very important to have the bell on and ring it, and you can do it here. I don't think I can do it to myself. Right, but you click all notification, and then once you subscribe, I can't subscribe to myself, and then you get that, right? Also, we have our partners here if you're interested, any of our exchange partners here, and you can get it through my website, BYDFI, BTCC, BitUnix, Blowfin. So check those out and see if there's any one of them that interests you. If you like the platform, if you use my link again, I will get a commission. It helps with the channel support if you want to support that way. If you're trading already, then if you use my link, it helps out and it supports us. So I really appreciate if you do use my link if you're trading anyway. Okay. And if you're thinking about trading, these are the ones that we are partnered with here on the channel, and you get special bonuses once you sign up. Again, they are affiliate links, so thank you for that. Senior Executive Officer of Ripple here, Reese, he's in charge of Middle East and Africa. He says diamonds are forever and now they are unchanged. The tokenization of 1+ billion AED in diamonds and billion-ton diamonds isn't just a win for the UAE, it's a masterclass in how the XRP ledger handles high-value RWA at scale. As part of the Ripple team, he's proud of solving the trust gap in digital commodities. Ripple Custody providing the bank grade vaulting required for 280 million in physical inventory, right? So Ripple Custody and XRPL native features leveraging the ledger's speed and low cost to turn liquid luxury goods into tradable assets. So this is a situation that potentially this is what's going to happen. You'll have, for example, Ripple Custody that's going to custody these diamonds or whatever valuables. And then the transfer of the goods will happen on the blockchain on XRPL. And then physically, if the customer wants to transfer the assets, they can transfer them out of the custody. So this is a very important jump here for XRPL into the future, and we'll see how that develops. Also, U.S. lawmakers are introducing a bipartisan Promoting Innovation in Blockchain Development Act of 2026, protecting developers from criminal liability under Section 1960. So again, another thing helping potential wrongdoings in the crypto market, potentially getting on the table here for passing. And again, of course, the Clarity Act is the one that has the most, juice right now for potential catalyst on the markets. We just had JP Morgan say crypto markets could get a significant boost in the second half of 2026 if market structure bill passes. So JP Morgan, the same that just said a few days ago that there's high probability, it's looking like that this current situation is like 2008. And we talked about the shorts shenanigans that many times these big companies will do. Well, now they're on the flip side saying that if potentially the market structure bill gets passed in the near future, that could be very, very good for the crypto markets. And there's always the people that are saying, well, this is how the midterm election year always behaves in the crypto market. But that's kind of a cop-out. I know I agree with Benjamin on a lot of things, Benjamin Cohen, that's been banging the drum on this. But to say, well, it always plays out the same when we didn't have the same. Yes, October was the peak so far, but we didn't have the crescendo, right? And again, the caveat might be that let's take out the first time because Bitcoin and crypto was very, very young. So it was the Wild West. But the last two cycles, interest rates were very, very low. And so maybe that was the factor that had the crypto market doing those banana zones. Maybe Raoul Paul is still banging the drum that it's going to happen in this first quarter or second quarter of this year. So we'll see. First quarter is almost over, another month, and we'll see what happens. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this whole Jane Street situation. So I saw this tweet from Matt Hogan, CIO of Bitwise. He says here, the conspiracy theories are wild. First, it was Binance, and then it was Winter Minute, and then it was an unknown offshore macro hedge fund, and then it was a paper Bitcoin, and today it is Jane Street, and next week it will be someone else. The real reason Bitcoin is down is that a bunch of people who were long Bitcoin sold their Bitcoin exposure. They sold it via spot, they sold it unwinding leverage positions, and they sold it be writing calls against their Bitcoin. They sold because of the 4-year cycle and because of quantum fears and because they wanted to invest in AI startups and for other reasons. They are mostly done selling and we are in the process of bottoming. We'll set new all-time highs in the future. This is a classic crypto winter and there will be classic crypto spring. People want someone to blame, I get it, but the reality is far more boring than that. And of course, there's going to be People say, well, they are manipulating. Yes, market manipulation is a very real thing, says the Dom here. Innocent selling alone does not explain much of the price action we see. And so there is shenanigans going on, but I don't think, again, I agree with Matt here that it's not the main reason. I still think that a lot of the tailwind that happened here was October 10th and you could call it the breakage of the crypto market, that the unwinding of these, we don't really know what entities got hurt because they're not, they're not putting out a press release saying we are selling, right? Maybe in the future, someone is going to figure it out. Maybe a Zach XBT or someone else is going to do a deep dive and try to figure out who has been selling so much. We also heard a lot of these, initial, Bitcoin wallets from, back in the beginning of the days that held a significant amount and decided to release some of their assets, like Matt said, they're investing maybe in AI and things like that. So and you remember that precious metals were running significantly and a lot of money went there. And so that could have, fueled the big sell-off that we saw, since October 10th. But mainly, for Bitcoin, it's been basically since the end of October. So Bitcoin really didn't get hurt, in the beginning of October and October 10th, it pulled down, but not, too much. And the real sell-off started towards the end of the month there. And I think this is when the unwinding started and then continued here into this current situation that we are at. Again, XRP started out really good. The year, but then had, of course, the sell-off with the rest of the crypto market. I still think that, we'll see some sort of recovery here towards the end of the year, mid-year. But who knows? Like, again, anything can happen in the crypto market. We've seen this before, and I'm ready for all types of scenarios. And I have a different game plan for today, tomorrow, the next day, and for 6 months, a year from now, 2 years, 5 years, and 10 years. Now, things might change. Things may be dynamic. Maybe AI changes everything, right? But has much change from 2000 to 2026? No, not really. Yes, AI, of course, but like, from just crypto trading and that aspect, right? Not much. Will a lot change in the next 5 years? Maybe. Right? We might be on the verge of a technological jump here, and the same way, like from the end of the 90s into the 2000s, where the internet became, it was the early stages of the internet and computers and cell phones, and everything was getting a little bit of a jump there. And then into the 2000s, it was a big upgrade for our life. And then when we got, smartphones, it was another upgrade. So the question is going to be, what is going to be the upgrade we're going to see in the next 4 or 5 years? And is it going to be related to blockchain? Is it going to be related to crypto, payments? We'll see. AI, of course, right? The AI is just, going bananas and the parabolic up, there's this law. I forgot the name of it right now. Wait, I got to research it. I'm an engineer. I don't want to look silly, not remembering the law. Okay, Moore's law, right? So Moore's law is the law, right? And it basically had said that there's going to be this is regarding technology growth, stating that the number of transactions in a microchip doubles approximately every 2 years, leading to exponential increase in computing power, reduced costs, and faster performance. Well, now we're seeing the current growth is outpacing this significantly. So if we would have had, a certain growth, right, every few years, now in the next 4 or 5 years, we could see tremendous growth that previously would have taken 20 to 30 years. We might see it in a year or two just because of the potential processing power. We might see growth in medicine and in technology and in research and all kinds of things. And it could be wild, right? I was just talking with my brother-in-law, who's a doctor, about all the potential advancements. And he was like, it could be wild just in medicine because a lot of things have to go through the FDA and all that. So it could take a little bit more time. But, just technological stuff and things like that, it could be an amazing jump here. And, there's going to be the good and the bad. I just read this morning that Stripe CEO, right? He just announced, right? It's Stripe. Jack Dorsey just announced that they are no, not Stripe. Well, who's Jack Dorsey? What's his company? Jack Dorsey. Square, not Stripe. That they were firing significant percentage, 40% of its workforce, and going into using AI. So basically, you could have a situation where 100 people are doing the job of 1,000, right? And so it's going to change the world. People will have to be dynamic. People have to change the way they develop, the way they learn, the way they work, and things are going to go very, very fast. Now, you might say, well, maybe companies will lay off people. But on the flip side, you might have a situation where it's the opposite, where if 4,000 people will do the work of 4,000 people, well, now those same 4,000 people can do the work of 40,000 people, right? And so then you get a lot more advancement in a very short period of time, right? And that could be the possibility. A lot of people are saying, oh, there's going to be a lot of, layoffs, right? So Jack Dorsey's here, he's thinking about, oh, how do I stay at the same pace but reduce costs? That's one way of thinking. Another way would say, okay, stay the same, but I increase my revenue a significant amount. So that could be a possibility as well. I guess different CEOs are going to think different, and different companies are going to think different, and then it will affect the markets, and then it could affect the crypto market. Will we see a new crypto project be able to jump into the top 10 in the near future? Maybe, but most likely probably not. I don't think there's going to be a lot of slippage between now or the next cycle and the previous cycles like we had seen before, because there was a lot of advancements, and we'll see. Maybe there will be a lot of advancements in the crypto market technological wise. The blockchains will get faster. Of course, look at Ethereum. Like a few years ago when NFTs was hot, people were paying hundreds of dollars and even thousands of dollars gas fees. And now the gas fees on the Ethereum network are nothing, right? Because of their upgrades. So maybe that is what's going to be upgraded. The security might be upgraded, to combat quantum computing, which is, again, a fear that some people have said that that's one of the reasons why the market has sold off a little bit. But it's always like, oh, it's China's banning crypto, quantum computing, manipulation, right? I needed some glasses, but I wanted to do it. Oh, no, right? That character. But there's always going to be these ups and downs. And again, at the end of the day, as investors, it's up to us to read the market, try to figure out. Sometimes you'll be successful. Sometimes you'll get lucky. Sometimes, you'll have bad luck. It's happened to me before, bad luck. And then I've had good luck. I've had, an asset that I've purchased and the next day it pops 50%. I've had an asset that I was contemplating about, selling and I didn't. And then earnings happened and suddenly it dropped 30% and really no reason. But now I have to rethink, oh, maybe it's the opposite. Maybe I need to accumulate at these lower levels. So it's always about being dynamic and changing to the current situation and adapting and learning and reading more news and learning geopolitical things and watching my videos. Of course, you get an A++ because you watched all the way to the end. Holy smokes, it's almost a 30-minute video long. You know what? I'm going to continue to talk just so it gets to 30 minutes. You know what? I'm going to ask a question now. I was thinking about this, maybe doing so lives are kind of hard for me. The only real time I can do lives is early in the morning. And I don't know how many people are going to, jump on if it's 5 in the morning in the US. Maybe I'll try it. But I was thinking more doing sort of a mailbag kind of video once a week where we'll think where the questions can go. Because in the comment section, it's hard with all the bots and all that, and have maybe I'll do it on the community post there, and have a mailbag episode, just talking about extra maybe on the weekend or something, talking about some of your questions, not should I buy this or should I buy that? Those are bad questions. But just about the market structure and how things work, or just things to learn a bit more. If you guys think that that's a good idea, of course, smash the like button and let me know in the comment section. What would be better, a live or just a regular video that. Many times live streams, if you're not there, it gets kind of swept under the rug. And whereas the video, people can watch it, back, and it's more on the timeline and things like that. By the way, a lot of you watch on the phone, and I noticed that when you're on the phone, most of the video recommendations are coming from the phones and from the from browser, right? Which means that a lot of you are not coming from the subscription page. So if you press subscription on the phone, you'll get my videos in an easier way. So I know many of you are coming from like the main page, and some from the notifications, but just know that if you go to subscriptions, it's easier to find me. Okay. Don't forget to do all those things that I mentioned. And of course, check out the links in the description down below. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. And like I always say, let's make a lot of money.